Hi, everyone. I'm Emma Gilchrist. I'm one of the co-founders of the Narwhal, and I'm also editor-in-chief and executive director, and I'm really happy to be here today. I'm here in Victoria on the territories of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples, home to the Songhees, the Esquimalt, and the WSÁNEĆ people who still enjoy a very rich relationship with this land until this day. I'm so excited to be here to tell you a little bit about the Narwhal, the little whale that could. We launched about 3 years ago, originally out of British Columbia, and we've now expanded to Alberta. We've had reporters in the north, and we just launched a bureau in Ontario as well. And during that time, we've gone from 2 staff to 16 staff, and the single largest source of our funding has become our monthly members, who are readers who voluntarily pay each month to make the Narwhal possible. And it's really interesting to think about how that kind of fundamentally shifts your relationship with the readers. But first, I'll tell you a little bit more about the actual content that we produce on the Narwhal, in case you're not familiar. So we call ourselves an online magazine, and we publish in-depth and investigative journalism about Canada's natural world. And there's a few kind of hallmarks of that content. One is the visuals. So we really invest in the visual experience on the Narwhal. We have no advertising on our site, which enables us to have a really beautiful, full width visual experience. And a lot of the places that we report on are places that are out of sight and out of mind. So we think it's really important to bring people visuals from those places to help make these massive environmental issues more real for folks. Another kind of hallmark of Narwhal journalism is context. So we try to ensure that all of our stories are really context rich. And the reason for that is that we really want our journalism to help people make meaning of the world. And when I look at some traditional journalism, sometimes I find that it doesn't actually help you make meaning of the world. You kind of get into the he said, she said, not a lot of context about the issues that would actually help people understand the issues. And kind of the third hallmark of Narwhal journalism is that we're really intentionally working to bridge divides. Environmental issues can be incredibly polarizing. We really work to bring in people of all different kinds into our journalism, whether that be resource workers, people from rural communities. We really emphasize Indigenous perspectives in our work. And we think it's really fundamentally important to harness the power of journalism to bridge divides. In this last year, the organizers told me to brag about myself, so I will a little bit. We won 10 National Journalism Awards, including a World Press Freedom Award for our investigative reporting on the Site C Dam, the General Excellence Award from the Digital Publishing Awards, and several national magazine awards for photojournalism and feature writing. So yeah, we're really thrilled to be helping to pioneer a new model of reader-funded journalism in Canada. And maybe to speak to that a little bit, I'll just speak a little bit about my background. So I started out my journalism career in the traditional journalism world. So about 10 years ago, I was working at the Calgary Herald, and at that time, like every newspaper in the country had an environment reporter. Basically, over the next decade, I watched all of those beat reporter positions evaporate and the environment be left really kind of wide open for the taking, because there was just so little, in-depth, context-rich coverage happening on that beat. After I left the Herald, I went into the nonprofit sector for 4 or 5 years, which at the time I really grappled with. I struggled with it because I thought I was leaving journalism forever. But as it turned out, I got to come back around and kind of combine the things that I learned in the nonprofit world with my experience in journalism. And so that's really what we're doing at the Narwhal. So we're a nonprofit, and we recently became Canada's first English language registered journalism organization, which allows us to issue tax receipts to all of our donors, our members, and it also allows us to receive grants directly from philanthropic foundations, which opens up new and exciting avenues of funding for us. And back to that kind of, shifting relationship with the audience, because our members are such a big part of what we do, our single largest source of funding. This year, they'll give us over $600,000. It really gives us the ultimate freedom and independence to report on what the audience wants and needs. It also encourages us to, engage our audience as parts of stories, as sources of story tips. We have a really thriving and energetic relationship with our audience and our members, and it's quite a beautiful thing. I'll leave it there.